You have a lot of people in your life, contacts, followers, friends, acquaintances, connections, people you text occasionally, people you see at events, people you keep meaning to catch up with but never do. Your network is large, your calendar is full, your phone is always buzzing, and yet, somehow, you feel alone. Not the kind of alone where nobody's around. The kind where you're surrounded by people but nobody really sees you. Nobody really knows you. Nobody you can call at 2 a.m. when your world is falling apart. You've been told your whole life that relationships are about quantity. The more people you know, the better. The bigger your network, the more successful you are. The more connections, the more opportunities. And so you collect people like business cards, like followers, like proof that you're not alone. But deep down, you know the truth. Most of these relationships are shallow, transactional, performative. You show them the highlight reel, they show you theirs. Nobody shows the truth. And you're exhausted by the maintenance, the surface level conversations, the pretending to care about things you don't care about, the constant output with no real input. If you've ever felt surrounded by people but deeply lonely, if you've ever wanted to delete your entire contact list and start over, if you've ever craved depth but only found width, this video is for you. Today, we're going to talk about the most counterintuitive relationship advice you'll ever hear. The secret to feeling less alone isn't more people, it's fewer people, better people. The right people is called the chosen few, and it might transform your entire life. Let's start by understanding how you got here, how your relationships became a spreadsheet instead of a sanctuary. You didn't choose this consciously. You were taught it. The world told you that more is better. More friends, more connections, more followers, more network. And there were good reasons for this. Weak ties create opportunities. Diverse networks expose you to new ideas. Being connected opens doors. But somewhere along the way, the means became the end. You stopped building relationships to enrich your life. You started building them to prove your life was enriched. It became about the number. How many people came to your wedding? How many likes on your post? How many connections on LinkedIn? How many friends can you say you have? And here's the trap. Relationships take energy, real energy. Every person in your life requires attention, maintenance, emotional bandwidth, and you have a finite amount of that. You're not a server with infinite capacity. You're a human with limited energy. So when you say yes to everyone, when you try to maintain 50 friendships, 100 acquaintances, 500 connections, you end up giving everyone a little bit, a surface interaction, a shallow exchange. But nobody gets the real you, because the real you requires time, depth, vulnerability. And you can't be vulnerable with 50 people. You can't be deep with 100. You can't be real with 500. So you perform, you curate, you manage impressions, you keep it light, you keep it safe, you keep it shallow. And the result? You're exhausted. And you're alone. Because nobody knows you. Not really. They know your performance, your highlight reel, your carefully crafted persona, but they don't know your fears, your doubts, your struggles, the things that keep you up at night, the dreams you're too scared to say out loud, because you never gave anyone the time and space to know those things. You were too busy maintaining the breath to create any depth. Now let me make a case for something that will sound lonely, but is actually the opposite. You don't need a lot of people, you need a few people. The right people. People who actually see you, know you, hold you. Think about the relationships in your life that actually matter. The ones that sustain you. The ones that make you feel less alone. The ones you're grateful for. How many are there? Really count them. Not the people you're friends with. Not the people you see occasionally. The people you could call at 2 a.m. The people who know your middle name and your deepest fear. The people you don't have to perform for. For most people, it's 3 to 5. Maybe 10 if you're incredibly fortunate, but rarely more. And that's not a problem, that's human nature. Anthropologists call it Dunbar's number. The research shows that humans can only maintain about 5 deeply intimate relationships, 15 close friendships, 50 social connections. Beyond that, it's just names and faces. You weren't designed to be close to hundreds of people. You were designed to be deeply connected to a few. And when you honor that design, when you stop trying to be everything to everyone and start being real with a few, something magical happens. You stop being lonely. Not because you have more people, but because you have real people, people who actually know you. And that knowing, that's the cure for loneliness. You also stop being exhausted because you're not maintaining 50 shallow relationships. You're nurturing 5 deep ones. And depth doesn't deplete you the way breath does. Depth fills you and you become a better person because the chosen few hold you accountable. They see through your excuses. They call you on your patterns. They love you enough to tell you the truth. Shallow relationships let you stay small. Deep relationships force you to grow. So how do you build this? How do you go from many shallow relationships to a few deep ones? It's not about cutting people off. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about recognizing that not all relationships are equal and not all deserve the same investment. Here are 3 practices that will help you identify and nurture your chosen few. Practice 1, the energy audit. We talked about this in video 7, but it applies to relationships too. Go through your relationships, all of them, and ask, does this energize me or deplete me? Not every interaction will be perfect. Not every conversation will be easy. But overall, after spending time with this person, do I feel more alive or less alive? More myself or less myself? The chosen few energize you. Even when the conversations are hard, even when they challenge you, you leave feeling seen, held, known. The rest, they deplete you. They take, they perform, they drain. And that's okay. But you need to know the difference because the chosen few get priority. They get your time, your energy, your vulnerability. The rest get boundaries. Practice 2, the reciprocity test. A real relationship is bidirectional. It flows both ways. You give, they give. You support, they support. You see them, they see you. But many relationships are one directional. You're always the one reaching out. You're always the one listening. You're always the one showing up. And they take. This isn't a friendship. This is a transaction. And you're not obligated to maintain it. The chosen few show up. They ask how you are and actually want to know. They remember what you told them. They invest in you the way you invest in them. If the relationship is consistently one-sided, it's time to let it fade. Not with drama, not with confrontation, just with gentle distance. Practice 3, the vulnerability gauge. The depth of a relationship is determined by the depth of what you can share. Can you tell this person you're struggling? Can you admit you're scared? Can you share your dreams without fear of judgment? If the answer is no, if you're always performing, always curating, always managing impressions, this is not a deep relationship. It might be a pleasant one, a useful one, but not a deep one. The chosen few are the people you don't have to edit yourself for. They get the unfiltered version, the messy version, the real version. And they don't run, they stay. They hold space. They see you and love you anyway. Those are your people. Invest there deeply, consistently, generously. And everyone else, friendly, kind, but boundaried. You don't owe everyone access to your inner world. Let me tell you what happens when you embrace the chosen few. At first, it feels lonely because you're used to busy. You're used to a full calendar. You're used to constant interaction. And now you're saying no. You're letting relationships fade. You're choosing depth over breadth. And it feels like you're losing people. But then something shifts. You realize you're not lonely anymore. Not in the way you were before. Because the people who remain, they actually know you. And being known by a few is infinitely more nourishing than being recognized by many. You also realize you have time. Time that was being consumed by shallow maintenance. Time you can now spend with the people who matter. Or alone, doing things that fill you. And you realize your relationships are better. Because you're not spreading yourself thin, you're going deep, you're showing up fully, you're being real. And that realness creates safety. For them and for you. Because when you stop performing, they stop performing, and you both get to just be. You also realize you're less anxious because you're not managing impressions with 50 people. You're being yourself with 5, and that's sustainable. And finally, you realize you like yourself more. Because the chosen few reflect back the parts of you that are real, not the parts that are acceptable. And that reflection, it helps you see yourself more clearly. You become more you, not less, by having fewer people, but the right people. Here's what I need you to understand. The world will always tell you that more is better. More connections, more friends, more network. But the world is wrong. More is not better. Right is better. Real is better. Deep is better. You don't need to be loved by everyone. You need to be known by a few. And that knowing, that deep, mutual, vulnerable seeing of each other, that's the antidote to loneliness. So stop collecting people. Stop maintaining relationships that drain you. Stop performing for an audience that doesn't even care. Choose your few. Invest there. Go deep. Be real. And let the rest fade. You don't need many people to feel less alone. You just need the right ones. The chosen few are waiting, and they're already in your life. You just need to prioritize them. Now go find them.